So welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. I have to say I'm a little bit excited being here for the first time after so many years. I'm coming to the walk in a completely new role. I'm honored to be here representing a brand new company that, as we will discover today, has been recently funded by ENAV and entered a number of partners. And I'm very proud to launch today here at the walk for the first time on the international arena company, DIODE. Well, some emotion, isn't it? Well, first of all, Rome. It's a beautiful city. And for me and for the people that worked for a long time, the new logo appearing on the screen and our goal, enabling autonomous flight. And today I will try to get a little bit through it, not getting too much into the details. I don't want to make the usual presentation. I did several years already in different part of the world and in Italy. I would like to start for a suggestion. The question is, how really dense is our sky today? If we look the sky from the top, and you might very well know this application, Flyradar 24, which is interesting because it has so many similarities with what we are doing with the U-Space, the UTM, and the flight in particular. The sky indeed looks pretty dense. But if we actually look at the numbers, we find out that even in this situation, we have about 1,500 aircraft all over Europe in a certain moment of the day. This means that we have about one aircraft every 6,600 square kilometers, which is more or less the size of this square here. Now, let's go on with the experiment. Let's apply a filter to our brand beautiful Flyradar 24 application. And let's slice and hide all the traffic which is above 500 feet. And you know that 500 feet is quite a magic number for U-Space and UTM. The number of aircraft immediately drop by 2/3. We have now 460 aircraft, mainly concentrated around the major European airports, and the density dropped to one aircraft every 21,500 square kilometers, meaning that we have about one aircraft for a country, for a land of the dimension of Sardinia Island, more or less. Well, we all know that this is not entirely true, because we don't know all the traffic, because not all the traffic lets itself visible. And this is especially for what regard today the small drones, the general aviation, the sport aviation, the parachuters, and any other kind of airspace user that usually is flying in this portion of airspace. That's the tricky part probably of our business and our mission in the next years. But let's go on with a suggestion. And the suggestion bring me to ask you, what is the view from the bottom? When I look the sky out of the window in a beautiful day, it's surprisingly empty. I see in front of my eyes an empty sky. But what the future is bringing us? I was very surprised to read, and sorry, this microphone, I'm not very happy about this microphone. Can you hear me? Do you read me 505? Yes, good. Okay, thank you. I feel a little bit like, you know, Bill Gates walking on front of the stage with his mic. I read in a paper which was published by the Aviation Committee's ARC. Is a body advising FAA about unmanned aerial systems. There is a sentence where it says that there might be a lower emission transmitter which would provide us a capacity of 14,000 drones in a circle of a radius of 30 miles. This would mean a density, in that case, if we get to that number, we would get to a density of 2 unmanned aircraft per square kilometer. So it's quite a different situation with regard to what we just saw in the previous slides, right? Yet, we have an incredibly crowded ground, an incredibly crowded land, with traffic, with buildings, and an empty sky. And we want, actually, to get this sky just ahead of us. So, I would say that ruling this very low portion of airspace is our next mission to the moon. It's not going to be easy, but we want to get there. Okay, so we did a lot of road to get here, and I'm here because we met a number of steps, and many steps are ahead of us yet. But I would like to give you a short highlight of what, in my view, are the major achievements that so far we got. I don't want to be boring, to bore you with the details, but just to get through a little bit fast, and recalling the first idea of UTM I had in 2014. Now it's 5 years ago almost. It was February 2014. I woke up, that's not joking, I woke up in the middle of the night having something in mind, and I started writing an email. And I have still this email. It's dated February 2014. And in that mail, at that time I called this view Drone Dream, because I was actually dreaming somehow. And slowly I built a vision. I managed to create consensus in ENAV, sell this idea to ENAV colleagues, and building together, and that's the strength of my colleagues, above the convincement that an NSP, an air navigation service provider, needs to play a central role in UTM. At that time, it was not even clear what was the name of this story. Then this became the world-known unmanned traffic management and the European-known U-Space, the so-called U-Space, the project of the European Commission and the SESAR JU undertaking. The next step, and I can imagine that some of you are familiar with this picture because I show it for several times, in several occasions, for several years, on a high-level architecture. This sketch was drawn in 2015, almost 4 years past now, and I think this high-level architecture is still valid, has been challenged by the SESAR JU U-Space blueprint, and I'm very confident that this is still responding to what we need for a U-Space or a UTM solution. Everything is there. All the core, the core services of the U-Space are mentioned in this sketch. Of course, in order to be successful, we had to build on a business case, and a solid business case with some proven figures. And some of you might recall I presented this business case last year here at the walk during the GUTMA conference. On top of that, we managed to get an agreement with our Civil Aviation Authority. And this is, it has been enshrined by the signature of an agreement with ENAC, the Italian Civil Aviation Authority, and ENAV for the provision of UTM services in Italy. So this paper somehow designates ENAV, or a company controlled by ENAV, as the subject which will be in duty for the provision of this new kind of services. Participation to the research and development. We are to a long list of international bodies, including GUTMA, including EuroCAE. We are sitting there to try at our best to drive the evolution of a space concept, which is still, in many cases and for many aspects, still a research and development issue. DIODE is our demonstration project, which was presented last February and was successfully awarded of the SESAR JU co-financing. The demonstration of this project will occur later this year, and the project, as you might know, as all the demonstration that SESAR JU launched recently, will close in by the beginning of 2020. Selection and industrial partner. I think this is maybe one of the more important steps that we started at the beginning of in the middle of 2016, shortly after the signature of the agreement with our aviation authority. We started to look for an industrial partner because we understood that ENAV alone wouldn't have the competences to develop such a new thing. A thing that is deeply inherent to information technology, to some kind of microelectronics, to network communication. And some of these competences definitely were out of the profile, of the perimeter of ENAV. So we felt the need to find an appropriate partner. How we did it? We did it through a long and complex, transparent and public selection process, which brought today to have our partner on board, and I will shortly present you the partners of our company. The constitution of the flight. This has been done very recently. At the end of this process, I said the process was started in August 2016. We completed the process few months ago, and few months ago in November 2018, ENAV constituted formally the flight company, 100% participated by ENAV, and recently we concluded the entering into the share of the company of our three partners selected with the process I just described: Leonardo, Telespazio, and EDS Ingegneria dei Sistemi. At this stage, the flight has completed its process of constitution. We have a company which is owned 60% by ENAV, 40% by the industrial partner. The 40% is shared among Leonardo, 60%, Telespazio, 30%, 10% EDS Ingegneria dei Sistemi. We have a capital on our availability of about 6,600,000 euros. And with this capital, we have our investment plan, and we have a plan for getting to the break-even in 4 years' time, and then be profitable for the following years. We have an implementing roadmap, and this roadmap, again, is fully compliant with the roadmap of the blueprint, the SESAR JU U-Space blueprint, but is actually anticipating some of the main milestones of this roadmap. We have the U1, U2, U3, U4 concept, and when I look at this small diagram here, you might recognize our signature, the high-level architecture that we designed some years ago. And finally, now we need to prove ourselves to reach our ultimate goal, enabling autonomous flight. So, getting at this stage, I would really like to have on the stage with me my management team that is just taking place, is considered in this time. There is a lot of people that I would like to thank, because as I show you, the road was very long and very complicated. We couldn't achieve today presentation and the launching of the flight in front of you if I couldn't have the help of all these people working with me. But in particular, I would like to call on the stage Roberto, the CFO of the company, and the management, the rest of the management is Stefano, Federica, and Maurizio. There are more people, of course, that will be involved, but I'm very proud to share with you guys and with you this very, very incredible moment of my life. Thank you. So the video will come, will take us busy for another minute, maybe for the people that came late, they didn't see it. Of course, you will see it again, the video at our stand, ENAV. You could pass also to the stands of Leonardo, where you will probably see, you will be able to see some of the bits and pieces of the platform that Leonardo is now developing for Leonardo and Telespazio and EDS are now developing for the flights. Some of you might join the walking tour, the SESAR working tour, where the DIODE project will be presented by Stefano in details. And if we have still some time available and you have some questions, I might have some of the answers. I'm not have all the answers anyway.